Hey everybody, welcome to an episode of Cooking with the Frisbees. And guess what time it is? Today is garden tour day. It is the 24th of May. We haven't done a garden tour since May 6th was the last one that we published. So a lot has been going on down. I can never get that right. A lot has been going on down at Little Acorn Farm. There's a lot of growth. There's a couple of issues that we're having down here that we're not quite sure of. The temperature has just absolutely spiked. So we may hit a record, I think tomorrow or Wednesday, of like 95 degrees. So it's hot. It's lunchtime. But I didn't get a chance to do it in the morning because a thing called work gets in the way on Monday. But it's lunchtime, so I thought I'd come down here, give you guys a little garden tour, show you what's been happening down here with Little Acorn Farm. So let's go on down in the garden. And as you can see, there's a big change that went on down there. Little Bentley's down there relaxing. Is that we actually moved about 2.5 tons of stone because we really want to finish this area off, and I think it looks really nice. There's a few more things that we're going to do, but I think it looks really nice. So let's go ahead and walk down and see what's been happening down here. So the first place that we always like to stop is what we call our herb garden, which I think is a little bit more than an herb garden. And as you can see, the things that's struggling the most, I think, is this Thai basil plant. It comes and it goes, and I'm not sure why. The other thing that seems to be struggling over in this bed is our basil, which usually is huge. But it just looks like it's struggling. I've got the irrigation in there. Maybe it's too much water because the leaves are a little bit yellow. No, I'm not exactly sure. But the rosemary is doing fine. What we're really excited, I finished these steps off as well. Beth wanted those steps finished off. Bentley, don't eat that, big boy. So this trellis, whose main purpose was really for the cucumbers, you can see that the cucumbers have really started to come alive. We were a little worried about them at first. I think this soil, I'm going to do a test on this soil. I think it needs to be amended. You can see that we've got some flowers down there, so that means they're going to begin to fruit, but they're going to grab onto this trellis, and this whole purpose here was to do this vertical gardening of this entire trellis. So we'll see what happens. Let's move on down into the first of three. I really do like this gray stone. It just really makes it pop, doesn't it? I think we're going to put some pavers and things, and I think I'm going to build another garden bed, to be honest with you. But now look at the squashes. So from the May 6th tour, just a brief pan around, look at what has been happening here. Like, everything has just grown massively. Beth and I went to the lake for the weekend, and when we came back, it was almost as if the tomato plants had grown like 10 inches. But you can see they're reaching that trellis. So let's go ahead and look at the individual. So this is our zucchini and our squash. So I know you can start to see that there's flowers on all of them. I think we're having a little bit of an issue with our zucchini plant. And I think that there's not enough female flowers on here. So the yellow squash, we're getting fruit. But we're not really getting any fruit. It's a lot of flowers, so we may have to hand pollinate these. Let's come around here and let's take a look and see if we can see anything more on here. Yeah, so you can start to see some fruit in there now. It's not too bad. Not too bad. You can really start to see it's going to start coming. They look really healthy, which I'm so glad to see. That's always a positive, right? When your plants are healthy. The irrigation seems, I think we need to do another layer of mulch. Let's swing around over here and let's take a look at, wow, look at these. So these are the peas. And I think the last time that I showed you this garden, they were just little itty bitty things. So they're starting to climb up this trellis and really starting to look nice. I had told you I had to replant the ambrosia melons, but look at them. Wow, this heat really made them come to life. I'm so happy with the way that's looking right now. Let's go over here. I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to trim these trees because they're blocking a lot of that morning sun, and I think it's stunting the growth over here on these plants. So these are our green bean plants that we have over here, and they're not growing as quickly. You can see that they're starting to flower now, which means that we should start to get some fruit on here. But they have to reach up, and again, all these trellises are made so that they can climb when they need to climb and attach themselves, and it's supposed to keep disease off. Look at Beth's sunflower. Now that was just a tiny little thing the last time that we had you guys down here at the Little Acorn Farm, and it's stretched up. Like I said, when you take a look at where this trellis actually is, it's 18 to 20 inches off the dirt. So that gives you an idea of just how quickly things have started to grow. And then we come over and look at our tomato bed. We've got some sunflowers here as well that have come up. These are the variety of, I believe these are Big Boy. Let's see that. Yeah, you can see it. So those are Big Boys. Look how, I just can't believe how big these things have gotten. I mean, they have really just grown up, and they've reached this trellis. So I think it's going to be time for us to actually come down here and tie these off. This poor little guy here, we're not quite sure. I said we were having some issues. Not quite sure what's going on with him. We thought that he was just being kind of sheltered out. He wasn't getting any light, but we're starting to see some of our leaves. They're kind of starting to curl a little bit. And I know there are different varieties of tomatoes, so we're experimenting with this, and we have to learn what we can and cannot do. Most of the plants look healthy. I'm not sure if it's a water issue, but I want to take you over here and show you our Roma tomatoes. So these are 4 Roma tomato plants, and if anybody can just put down in the comments what you believe is happening. These are 4 identical plants. These are Roma tomatoes. And these 2 plants seem to be fine, and they're a little bushier and they don't reach up. But then we look at these plants, and when we came home, this is what they looked like. And at one point, and they were growing up, and now they seem to we thought somebody bit the tops off of them, but we're not quite sure. So let's zoom in here. Like I said, if anybody knows what that's doing, just please comment and let me know. But we're very happy. I mean, I'm glad that we planted a lot of tomatoes, because all plants don't do well. I'm gonna walk over here and take a look at my rose bush. So again, our first garden tour, you're probably noticing the different size, and if you haven't looked at that garden tour, go ahead and look at it. But this plant, when I bought it in the pot, was about maybe 1.5 feet, 2 feet, and you could look what's it's just climbing up this trellis super fast, and the rose blossoms that it puts out are just extraordinary. I'm going to zoom in on this. Isn't that just beautiful? And it is just climbing, and this thing stands about 7 feet tall, and it's almost at the top. We're thinking we may just do another garden bed on the other side, and because we're not sure it's going to go all the way over the top, and we definitely want this entire trellis to have foliage on it, because I think it'll look spectacular. And then we had put some we bought a lot of extra pepper plants, so we threw these in here too, and they seem to be happy. I don't have irrigation in this bed, only because I have to run it somehow across here. I know I can do it. It's just going to take an effort for me to do it, and it's something I don't feel like doing, I guess. So let's walk on back. see what's going on back here with our strawberries. So we have, how exciting, look at that. We got some fruit on there. Now, we obviously didn't plant a lot of strawberries, enough to like make, you know, strawberry shortcake and things like that, but then we've got radishes. We had our first little taste of a radish the other day. That one looks like it's about to get ready. I don't know if you guys can see that. But the difference that I found was, God, you could just taste it. It just tastes so much differently. The taste is a lot more powerful and had a lot more bite to it. Our eggplants, not doing so well back here. This is the bed that had a ton of red ants when we uncovered it after the fall. I'm thinking that these beds just aren't as healthy. And I'm going to rebuild them, I think, in the fall and make them like the other ones. Here's our pepper plants and jalapeno plants. I mean, they don't get huge. It looks like something's kind of eating on them a little bit. Bentley and Bella like to come back here and pull the little blades of grass, so they actually help weed. So they don't get real big. They look how leggy that plant is. Not sure, but you know what? We're not going to give up on it. We're just going to keep going, and that's all part of gardening. But my belief is back here in this bed, it's getting enough water because I had the irrigation on. I had turned down the irrigation before because the strawberry plants, the leaves were starting to yellow, and that just wasn't looking good. So, you know, I'm going to take a walk back up here. The best roses over there look good. The compost area, it all looks good. It just, I think I just need to trim some trees back because we're getting, I think, what I would consider to be a little bit too much shade on some of these plants. Especially, I like them to get the morning sun. The tomatoes get shaded a little bit by this river birch that I planted here about 2 years ago. I can cut that back. You see I've raised the canopy on it pretty tall. I mean, you can see I can walk underneath this. And that's where I like to keep them. In the afternoon, it shades the tomato plants, but I think it's okay for them. We just really need to figure out what's going on with these leaves curling. I had cut the water back to every other day in these beds for 20 minutes. I initially had them going 30 minutes every other day. But I don't know, this is just, I mean, it's gardening and we just have to figure out. I had planted some watermelons and things, but they didn't take off, so I'm walking back up the stairs to go show you the plants that we have in the pots. So let's go over here and take a look at that. So here's the first tomato plant. I mean, we threw this in the pot and it's about, I don't know if you can see, it's about 2 feet tall right now, and it's got some flowers on it. So nothing, some people talk about fusing, and I'm not even sure what the variety of this is, but just happy to see that a lot of our plants are healthy. This plant just really never did well. It was an extra plant that we had. And we just decided to throw it in this pot, but we didn't put any starter fertilizer or anything like that, and it's really showing. We did go ahead and buy some, we're trying this Ocean Organic. It's fish and seaweed fertilizer, 231, and we're trying that out to see if maybe that makes a difference for us. There's my sweet little Bella. She loves playing with the ball, but it is hot. Our blackberry bushes, again, this is year one with those. When I first bought them, you saw that my video, I was a little afraid. And then I did some reading. I thought I had bought some dead plants from Costco, but that wasn't the case. It's just, they grow shoots. So as I did some research, I saw that they just grow shoots new shoots and it came up. So that's about a foot tall. I don't think we're going to get any fruit from it this year, but at least they're growing. And then this rose bush, this rose is finally, it was so slow to open. I think we're just going to have to give it some food. But it looks healthy. And these, again, I don't have irrigation, so I have to water these every other day. And that's the struggle. Like, where do you violate water? These are, again, are pepper plants. I'm gonna move this pot down to the main garden. It's just not, you can see it's in the shade. It's not getting enough sun over here. And because these plants are pretty healthy, I want to make sure that I give them the opportunity to do what they need to do. You know, I just walked over here and I was like, what is this in the ground? And it looks like we have a little dead bird over here. I'm not quite sure what happened to him. Maybe he flew into the window. We're gonna have to pick him up and get him out of here. We don't want any disease or anything. You can see Bentley and Bell it's a lot cooler underneath this deck. You guys are hot, aren't you? I'll give you one last pan of Little Acorn Farm. I think I'm gonna get the drone out tonight and fly the drone so that I get some good pictures of this and add some good quality to my videos. The rock looks really nice, I think. Just give you guys a nice little tour. Things look good. So that's it from Little Acorn Farm. Everything, it's our May 24th garden tour. Hopefully we see a lot of things flowering, so hopefully we'll start to see some fruit and things like that come out. But I think it looks good and I'm satisfied with it. So again, if you guys got comments, if you think you know what's going on with our tomato plants, just put it in the comments because I want to know as well. So everybody, thanks again for watching. I guess what I would say is, Beth and I have been trying to find something to sign off with, and I got a friend of mine told me to try and work a little bit of retirement into every day. So I think that's what the message I wanted to deliver everybody. Even though you may not be at retirement age, which I'm not, far from it, but work a little retirement into every day. So this is the box that we have up on the top deck. And you can see we try to grow multiple things in here. The only thing that seems to do well is mint. We've got to get that basil planted, that poor thing. We are just determined to kill that. So this is our just little top garden that we have, and that's the view that we have Little Acorn Farm from up here. So again, everybody, thanks for watching. We'll be back probably. I think I'm going to try to do every other week garden tours. This is Memorial Day weekend coming up. I'm going to keep an eye on things, but thanks for watching. Click the subscribe button. We've got some other videos that I've already got queued up and loaded that's more cooking with the Frisbees, but as I can see, everybody seems to enjoy the garden tours. It's kind of equal as I look at the views that you have. Some people like the cooking, some people like the garden tours, but you know what? I'm going to keep doing both. We've got where we cooked breakfast at the boat. That's a video that's coming up. We've also we did a rotisserie lamb at the dock this weekend. I've got that. And then Beth did this plov, and I can't tell you what the origin of the dish is. I'll make sure that I have it when I post that video so that you know exactly where it came from, but it was a really great dish. So we've got 3 or 4 videos that'll be coming up. So again, I want to thank everybody for watching. If I enjoy this, we enjoy this, and it looks like you do too. Take care and have a great day.